like. There's kind of like an office space up here. Let's slow my camera down. But you know, it's kind of like taking the props we have, building lots of areas for people to explore. You'll be able to find loot in here. You'll be able to find, you know, who knows, weapons, people camping out. And it doesn't always have to be like a crazy propped area. You can have like an empty warehouse. What's one over here? But just have, you know, just a little bit of loot in here. When you walk into this one, you know, it feels empty. This one's still work in progress, but it's still worthy enough to find loot. It's another area that you can walk around and explore. And basically I take these things that I'm building. Here's like my play space area. I take all these things that I'm building, turn them into groups, then I go into the real world, and let's see if I can go into the world here. And I start placing them into the world. And once I place them into the world, I can start molding the terrain, I can start painting roads, and I can really start setting a scene for what it's going to actually look like in game. So if I can get in here really quickly, as got my fan-made wallpaper here. Somebody made this like yesterday or today even, I think, and I thought it was so cool I had to make it my wallpaper. So good job, guy, if you're watching, or girl. But let me load into the world here real quickly as it spins around into existence. Sorry guys, it's just gonna take a minute. We're loading this massive world. There we go. Okay, so this is like the gas station area. So basically, as you can see, there's already been houses and props placed. And so I could probably take, you know, let me do an example here for you. I could take like this plot of land where there's nothing on it, take an already existed group that I made earlier, right? Place it into the world, and then build on top of it. It kind of looks like it's into the ground, so let me fix that. There we go. So now it's in here, and this will be a place in the world where you can go. It'll be off the road. This won't be necessarily where I would place something like this. I'm just trying to show you guys as an example. And then once you have your scene, you can kind of build on it. You know, it's pretty empty on the outside. You know, maybe you want to put rocks, or maybe you want to put, you know, a camper with a truck out here, because this is probably where he would hang out and live. And you're kind of just building the scene. So that's what I do on top of the other stuff. We're talking with devs and talking with fans and everything. This is usually what I work on every day. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh yeah, I'm the one who's like hosting this too at the same time. Hey Jimmy, what's up?
I don't know.
We should go to the next thing. I don't know. Where should we go next?
Let's go talk to Greg Spence. I actually do need to know what's going on with Melee stuff.
Jimmy needs to know what's going on with Melee stuff, apparently.
And Favali's back too.
And Favali's back.
Look, Favali's back.
He's
Favali's
back.
back.
What are you doing, Favali? You having fun down there?
You know it's hit the fan when your engineers are hiding under desks. Like, I have a picture of Tom in our old office under his desk, and I still can't explain to this day why he was under the desk.
I probably can't either.
I think it's because Mitch screamed, "I have an idea," and Tom just instantly like dove under his desk.
That would explain it.
Typical reaction. I guess while he's crawling around, like, I guess for mocap for our combat. Mr. Spence, do you have a moment, sir?
All right, so anyway, back to Greg Spence and Jimmy talking about Melee.
If you want.
You guys good with that? Cool.
Yeah. Hanging out.
It's like the evil Daystar. All right, cool.
I just crashed my client right before you walked in, so now I'm restarting it.
What crashed it?
I don't know. It's running around doing something, and it crashed. It happens.
It does.
It happens when it's in development.
That's what I always do.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like right now, all these builds that you're seeing, like as we run around, especially with the engineers, like these guys are working on a lot of times very slightly different code bases. They're all making their slight changes in debug builds. They compile their own code, run their own servers locally, and test everything out. And once they make sure that everything plays nicely with the rest of the code base, they're gonna push that back into our main build. And we're spinning up our other environments right now, so we won't be so worried. We want to be able to break our environment. Like, that means that we're actually making some pretty quick progress. Not that we want to break it often, but yeah, so that's definitely helping out with our iteration. So what you got going on, man?
Well, I've just been working on Melee combat and been talking to the animators about what they're doing, and I'm hooking up the code side of it. And basically what I'm doing is giving them the ability to connect up to 5 unique melee actions per weapon, and then on the victim side there'll be 5 reactions that are synchronized to that. So we're starting with something like fists. They're going to be able to do 5 animations, but what we have hooked up right now are only the first 3. So you've kind of got a right, a left hook, and then kind of a jab. And then the last 2 aren't hooked up yet, which is why when I click a couple times, nothing happens. But you can see the zombie sort of flinching left and right, and that's sort of synchronized with the direction it's coming from. So it's still got a little bit of work to go, but that's getting hooked up.
I was like,
and then when you switch to another weapon like an axe or the torch, you can have up to 5 other different animations. But for a lot of weapons, they may only do 2 or 3, and they can define that themselves.
Sure.
But on the code side, we give them that flexibility to hook up what they want to do. And we want combat to be interesting and feel cool. So if you're swinging a baseball bat, we want the guy that you're hitting to react differently than if you're hitting with an axe or a knife or something like that.
Yeah, once again, I want to reiterate, just for the people in the stream real quick, who, this is really the first time they've had a chance to see this much in-depth of what's going on. And some of the stuff may look a little goofy right now, but once again, we're very early on in development. Since Greg's joined the team up here, we've had a chance to talk a lot about how we want this to feel, and he's actually got some pretty cool ideas on how we're going to handle melee detection on server side, which is a pretty actually difficult thing to solve because there's a latency involved. And we want to minimize that as much as possible because this is a real-time combat game, and we really want to go for that more realistic feel of visceral hitting things.
And one thing to keep in mind is that doing combat in an MMO environment is very different than a single-player game.
Absolutely.
Where you can do full physics and you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. You can't typically do some of that in an MMO environment because you've got synchronization issues with other people that are seeing what's going on. So we're going to get it as far as we can, but still keep the game so that it's performing well, because that's top priority as well.
For sure. So what you're working on right now is hooking up those different animation states, make sure we're sending those right messages. Now, is this currently tied in with the physics detection in the world yet on the server, or are we still working on that one?
No, right now the melee is sort of separate from the physics system, and it's sort of more traditional, and that's some more traditional MMO where you're executing an ability.
Yeah, you throw that out.
We're checking to see if you're within a certain amount of distance, and just basic checks. But our development approach is to take small steps and get increases and see quick turnaround on things. So we start with the little achievements and get those done, and then we'll work in more complex physics reactions and stuff like that later on.
Sure, very, very cool.
Hey, there's something really cool going on over here.
Where?
Are you ready, Favale? No, don't look yet. Don't look yet.
Don't look yet, apparently.
Hold on.
I'm going to look.
He can look. It's a secret.
I'm going to look.
Don't. What do you? Oh,
I typed in the wrong thing.
he typed in the wrong thing, and as a programmer, that's not good.
I typed in rain equals crazy.
Rain equals crazy? Well, you're kind of giving away something here. Why would you say that word?
And I think about it, this is the first time that we will be showing rain, actually.
Because I heard the rain.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're. What is rain?
So
Here, somebody turn that light off. Where is it? Oh,
Well, I don't know if that's what we want to do. Do we want to turn the light off for the camera?
Is it a clapper?
oh yeah, because it's really dark.
Yeah, you can't see
Can you
anything.
see this at all?
Be able to see that?
Nope.
And this is on your local build, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so even this is still a work in progress. By the way, this is Ryan Favale. He's one of our graphics programmers over here, and he's been working on some really fun things like this.
All right.
So what I've been doing today and yesterday is getting the rain to look more correct when you move around the scene, which is not very easy to do, especially when you go too fast. You kind of go ahead.
It's like you're moving faster than your rain cloud.
That's what's happening.
That's essentially what's happening, you're saying?
Are you saying you have a black rain cloud over your head always?
Show
You can't get away from it.
By typing in rain is crazy. And backing out.
Whoa.
And there's my rain.
Uh-oh, the curtain has been torn down.
I've seen behind the fourth wall.
Right.
Whoa, that looks cool.
That actually looks really sick.
So there's
Vidya
this
games.
thing doing this for your personal rain cloud to make it look like it's
By the way, I hope stream can hear him okay.
Oh yeah, can you?
I'm going to do a little mic.
I know my mic's live.
All right, very cool. I'm going to pop it over here so people can hear a little bit better.
Okay, cool.
So, like, what are the things you've been dealing with on rain? Like, obviously, the intensity levels and everything else. What about it interacting with the environment? What kind of things?
So that is disabled right now, but when it rains, I'll have different intensities on the surface to allow it to reflect more, because rain's more reflective. So if it builds up, pooling and water flow as it goes along the terrain. Those are currently disabled because it is just not working exactly right yet. It can look pretty good, but I'm in the middle of debugging it.
Yeah, I hear you. So essentially, I mean, pretty much what he's saying right here is, and I've seen it with it on, we just don't have it enabled right this second and look like, so we're not able to show it, but when it rains, it's not just going to be, hey, look, there's things falling from the sky. Like, the world is going to be wet. Your arms and everything else, depending on what type of material it is, I have a feeling. You're just looking at the material type it is, it's flagged, and it will react according to that when it gets wet.
Yeah, so things like wood will get wet in a certain way, dirt will get wet in a different way, and same with asphalt.
Very, very cool.
That's awesome, man.
Awesome deal.
That's going to be sweet.
What else we got around here? By the way, that's Sean Campbell over there. He looks busy. He works on a lot of our.
Banging my head a little bit, but.
What are you banging your head on? What are you banging your head over, man?
I'm just distributing our navigation stuff. Right now, it's all crunched on one computer. I'm trying to get it so that, well, it takes about 15 minutes to do, say.
Oh, to export
zone the size of H1Z1.
Sure.
Right now, it's pretty large. It's actually about 140 million triangles, so
oh my god,
it's quite a bit.
Yeah,
but,
so
do the math.
Essentially, what he's saying is, when we do a export of terrain and everything for the build, we also have to build separately the what we call the nav mesh.
Right.
Essentially,
process.
Yeah, you want to explain real quick what that is?
Yeah, that the nav mesh is basically based on the terrain, obviously, but it's cooked in at generation time. So before we do a new build, we run it, and it'll tell us where in the world zombies can, run around, and you don't want them floating in the air, so they have to know where they can walk. So that's what the nav mesh gives you. So
yeah,
it's but it takes a long time to generate. So I'm trying to get it so it's distributed, and I can get down to a couple minutes, I think.
Yeah, previously we were dealing with, there was, I think, one build where the nav mesh didn't export properly. We thought it did, and we had flattened a lot of terrain out. So previously, all the NPCs thought that they could fly, because previously there was a hill there. We exported the terrain, but the nav mesh has to be essentially like wrap over the terrain properly, and didn't get exported. And those are the kind of issues you run into there. So he's looking into the time it takes to do that, make it more efficient. Right. This is the guy right here, as a matter of fact, that works on almost all of the zombie pathing stuff, and with Mitch on the behavior side.
Some behavior stuff too, a lot of physics, so a little bit of everything, I guess, but one thing at a time usually.
we try one thing at a time. It doesn't always work out that way, but we all kind of jump in where we can.
Is that bad when NPCs are flying around?
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
That's not good.
No.
Okay.
we don't want flying NPCs.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Sean.
What about you, Jimmy?
What
about you?
Dude, my job is really like...
Jimmy, what do you do?
I love what I do, but the problem with what I do is it's not exciting to watch. We actually even talked about for April Fools, for some of the designers over on PlanetSide 2 as well, is like, you do the work in progress stuff, you place things in the world. Like, my job is a lot of numbers. Like, I deal a lot...
Numbers are fun.
Numbers are fun, but essentially...
I remember when I watched Sesame Street. Numbers were awesome.
Not those kind of numbers. Okay. Maybe a little more complicated numbers. But one of these days, we'll get around to tuning some things live on stream. That'll be fun. Like, at least just show the gameplay in the iterative process. I think
when you show a gun and you're shooting it and you're explaining all the things that are happening while you're shooting the gun, that's what people want to hear.
Ooh. As a matter of fact, Clay, can you take over for a moment? I gotta go hand some keys over.
Yes.
Do we do a short break?
Yes. Actually, that's a perfect timing.
Okay, so we're gonna do a short...
Go ahead and say we'll be right back.
We're gonna do a short little break. We'll be right back, and the live stream won't end until 9 p.m., so stay with us. See you later, guys.